What's up, Bears fans? It's week 10 of the NFL season. I'm super pumped because we finally have another divisional matchup, our first one since week 1 of the season against the Packers. And this begins a stretch of 3 straight very crucial, very important divisional games that we have to absolutely have success in. Everything that happened so far this season, none of it even matters if we cannot win these divisional games. Especially against the Lions, which is a team that we should definitely beat considering how, you know, bad they've been so far this year. But yeah, I'm pumped for this game. We had another really great weekend last week. Bears won, Packers lost, which I love to see. Vikings won, so they're still in the mix with us, but I kind of expected that, so that's no big deal. But overall, I just really like where we are at this point in the season. I mean, we haven't been in first place this late in the season since 2012. So it just feels so amazing to be in first place right now. And let's hope this continues. I'm going to talk a little bit about the last game, how the game against the Bills went. And, honestly, there's not too much to discuss about that game because it was pretty much just straight dominance from the very beginning. Like, that's kind of what I expected going into this game, but I didn't think the margin of victory would be that high, 41-9, because I thought that their defense would limit us. I thought that they would run the ball a little bit more because, considering how bad Nathan Peterman has been. But, we straight dominated that game from the beginning. I mean, when you have 2 defensive touchdowns, first of all, props to our defense for actually, scoring touchdowns on defense because that's something that's really rare in the NFL. And seeing that, that just makes any defense that much more dangerous. It reminds me of the 2012 season when, I think we led the league in defensive touchdowns. So, if our defense can continue to force these turnovers and score touchdowns, we're going to be unstoppable. Like, we're scoring. I think our defense actually outscored the Bills' offense, which is absolutely insane. And one thing I really liked from our defense was the play of Roquan Smith. I mean, my God, this guy was all over the field. He had 13 tackles. He had 1 forced fumble. He is going to shape up to be a monster for years to come. Now, obviously, he doesn't have that many chances of, doing stuff this year because he's surrounded by so many great players, so you don't really notice him that much. But, man, Roquan Smith, he's going to be key for years to come, so I'm really happy to see that. And going back to our offense, our offense didn't really have to do much in this game besides just not turn the ball over, which I'm really happy we didn't because, that would have been the only reason if we lost. Like, if Mitch had a terrible game, that would be the only way we could possibly lose that game. But, Mitch, he only threw for, I think 135 yards, so he didn't really get that many opportunities to pass the ball. And there's 2, really, really long defensive pass interference calls that could have given him more yards, which he didn't get. But overall, our offense played okay, but our defense, again, was the reason why we won that game. And we just straight dominated them. So let's forget that Bills game, though, because, we shouldn't feel too high after a win like that because it was against Nathan Peterman, one of the worst quarterbacks of all time. So let's not get too happy over that. Let's focus on this next game, which is against the Detroit Lions, a divisional rivalry which we have not had any success in whatsoever in the past couple years. We've lost 9 out of 10 games to the Lions in our last 10 matchups, and we've just been getting straight dominated. Like, we've lost some close matchups, but we've lost every single close one pretty much. So, we've just had no success against them. But this year, things are looking very different. We're in first place in the division. The Lions are in last place, and overall, I do not think the Lions have the right head coach right now, and that's why I think they're struggling. If you look at the Lions, they have a lot of talent on both sides of the ball, and you can probably go to the playoffs with this team. But Matt Patricia, I don't like all these Patriots ex-coaches. I mean, they don't have success being head coaches anywhere else, and that's because Bill Belichick, he is 90% the reason why the Patriots have success. These defensive and offensive coordinators, yeah, they help them sometimes, but Bill Belichick is the main reason why the Patriots are that good. So, Matt Patricia, I don't think he's really helping the Lions win football games because I haven't watched too many Lions games, but just hearing what Lions fans have to say, they do not like Matt Patricia, and, they're really struggling right now at 3-5. So this is a game that we can definitely win. But even though we can definitely win this game is a definition of a trap game. The Bears are favorites at home by about 7 points, and the Lions, it's the like the Bills and Jets games were not really trap games because there's really no chance we would lose those games because of how bad the Jets and Bills were on offense. But the Lions could still definitely win this game, and we're favored by so much. So this is really a trap game that we have to be careful of. But let's get right into the three keys to a Bears victory. So key number one is going to be stop the run on defense and establish the run on offense. So let's talk about the first part of that key right now. And, guys, it's going to be absolutely crucial to stop the run because when the Lions can't run the ball, they can't win this year. When Kerryon Johnson has less than 35 yards this year, they have lost every single game, 5 games, when he doesn't have a good day. Now, Kerryon Johnson, he is quickly becoming one of the most dangerous backs in the NFL, quietly. I think he's averaging 5.7 yards per carry, which is 4th best in the NFL. So he is a very dangerous weapon that if the Lions can get him going, it's going to open up so much stuff for their passing game, which is still pretty dangerous, even with Golden Tate gone. So if we can stop the run game, which I'm definitely sure we can. I mean, we have such a good run defense. Khalil Mack is coming back too, and people don't realize how crucial he is in stopping the run as well. So we need to stop the run, and if we do so, Stafford's going to be forced to throw, and we're going to get interceptions, sacks, all that good stuff. And the second part of this key is that we have to establish the run on offense. This is always a good thing to do in any game, but especially so in this game because the Lions have the 4th best pass defense. So, I'm kind of concerned at what Trubisky is going to be able to do with such a good passing defense. But they also have the 3rd worst running defense in the NFL. Allowing about 145 yards to opposing running backs per game. So, yeah, this is a game that Jordan Howard, he's been having so much success against the Lions in the past. His breakout game in 2016 came against the Lions. So, if we can get Jordan Howard involved and Tariq Cohen as well, and even Trubisky running the ball, I mean, we're going to have success if we can run the ball effectively. And it's going to make things a lot easier for Mitch Trubisky. So key number 2 is going to be that we have to get our returning Bears fully involved in this game. And I'm talking about Allen Robinson on offense and Khalil Mack on defense, our 2 highest paid players on offense and defense. And, let's start with Khalil Mack first. I mean, if Khalil Mack is actually fully healthy, it's going to be game over for Matt Stafford because we saw how extremely dominant Khalil Mack was in the first 4 games of the season. I mean, he was getting triple teamed sometimes, and he was still getting pressure on the quarterback. And, he's been getting held so many times as well, which the refs never call. But, he's just a healthy Khalil Mack is unstoppable. Like, you can't do anything to really block him. So, if Mack is actually fully healthy, he's going to have a lot of success in this game, and it's going to be important to get him, involved in, hitting Matt Stafford, sacking him, putting pressure on him. And it's going to open up so many other things for the rest of our defense, which has still had some level of success without him, which is pretty impressive. Now going back to Allen Robinson on offense, so far, he hasn't really been that big of a part of our passing game so far, which I was kind of disappointed because I thought that he'd be, our number 1 target. He'd get the most balls. Trubisky would throw it to him when he's in trouble, but that hasn't really been the case, and I'm fine with that because it's important to spread the ball around and not just rely on one player. But Trubisky needs to realize that if he's in a lot of trouble, if he's like running out the pocket and it seems like nobody's open, you can throw the ball up to Allen Robinson sometimes, and a lot of times he'll come down with the catch. Like, that's what he did in Jacksonville, where he had such a terrible quarterback, Blake Bortles, but he still came down with these crazy contested catches. So, Trubisky, if you're in trouble, throw the ball up to Allen Robinson. Like, there's a chance he'll come down with it. And being that the Lions have such a good passing defense, there's not going to be that many people wide open. So we need to get him involved, and we need to get Allen Robinson the ball. So key number 3 is going to be play as angry as you possibly can. Guys, we have a 10-game losing streak against the rest of the division. We haven't won a single divisional game in over 2 years. Our last win was October 31st, 2016. And I don't care what you say, like, yeah, we had injuries. Yeah, we were a rebuilding team. Yeah, we had not that good of a head coach. But I don't care what you say. That's absolutely pathetic that we haven't won a single divisional game in 2 years. Like, we are the Chicago Bears. We are one of the most storied franchises in the entire NFL. And we haven't won a single divisional game in 2 years? That's unacceptable. And we have to let the rest of the division know that the monsters of the Midway are back. Our defense is back. We have a quarterback now. We have a capable passing game. And we just have to play as angry as we can in this game because this is a divisional rival that's been beating up on us a lot in the past couple years. The players on offense and defense need to play angry. They have to hit hard. They have to play hard. They have to play strong. They have to play fast. Even if they're up by a lot, they have to continue pushing, continue grinding. Like, treat the Lions as your worst enemies and just try to beat the shit out of them. I mean, they have been beating the shit out of us in the past couple years. So it's time for us to return the favor at this point. And, this is just, like, I don't want to say it's a must win, but I'm going to say it because this is an absolute must win if you're the Chicago Bears. You're at home. You have such a good team now. The Lions are struggling. We have to stick it to our divisional opponents and beat them as hard as we can. And finally, let's get into my prediction for this game. And I have the Chicago Bears winning this game 24-20 in Soldier Field. And, people might think that this game is going to be, we're going to win it by a little bit more of a margin. But I just don't see it because these divisional games, we have to remember, almost every single divisional game in the NFC North, it ends up being close just because of, the games are a dogfight. Like, I don't care how good your team is. Even when we were trash, the past couple of years, we still kept it close against the Lions a lot. So, it's going to be a close game because the Lions, they have a good passing defense, and our passing offense has struggled at times. So I don't expect Trubisky to absolutely, put on a show in this game. But I expect us to get a grinded out, hard-fought victory because of the success we're going to have on defense and the success of our running game. The MVP of this game I have being none other than Khalil Mack. The Mack attack is back. And I just think that with a fully healthy Mack, like, a fully healthy Mack is almost always going to be the MVP of this game, of any game, because of just how dominant he is. It's not just going to be the stats he produces. He might not get that many sacks because he's going to get held. He's going to get, double teamed. But what he does for the rest of the defense, it's insane. Like, just having him there, we're going to get so many more sacks. We're going to get so much more pressure on the quarterback, and Mack is going to help us win this game. So that's going to wrap up the video. As always, leave your comments down below. I want to know what you guys think about the game, what the score is going to be, who the MVP is going to be, and all that. And I read all your comments, so keep them coming, and I'll try to respond to as many as I can. But yeah. So again, this is a game that the Bears, if we're serious about winning this division, we need to win this game. We've been losing too much to the Lions. We've been losing too much to the rest of our division. It's time for a change. The monsters are back. Let's win this game. Let's dominate them at home. 6-3. Let's get it. Bear down.